So, Monster House. I mean, really an Oscar nomination for this movie? What were they thinking? Monster House, I'm gonna rate it a 6 out of 10. Maybe I should have given it a 5, but an Oscar nomination, that's just crazy. I mean, this movie really didn't work for me. And the idea is fun. The idea, the premise, it's kind of creepy, but the execution, it's clumsy. I mean, we have a haunted house that literally comes alive. So that's awesome, but the movie itself, it never delivers on that promise. So let's break it down why I think this movie doesn't really work. Now, the story is about a house where Mr. Nebercracker lives, and he's voiced by Steve Buscemi, and he actually does a very good job in the voice acting. Now, anytime an object lands on his property, it automatically becomes his. And he's not a really kind person, he's never really kind to anyone in the neighborhood. And then we have DJ, the main protagonist. And he is intrigued and he constantly spies on Mr. Nebercracker's house. And after his parents leave for a trip, his friend Chowder shows up with a new basketball. And when the ball lands on Nebercracker's lawn, DJ is going to get it back. And that's leading to a confrontation at the Nebercracker's apparent death. And after the ambulance takes him away, strange things begin to happen in the house. And then the house itself becomes alive. Now, so far, so good. That is actually quite a good setup for a story. So, what did I like about the movie? Well, what I liked is the nostalgic premise. I mean, we have a living haunted house, we have a lot of Halloween vibe. I could even see this movie being right at home in I would say, the 1980s, something between Goonies and Gremlins. I even would say this movie here and there gives off some vibe of It from Stephen King. And it definitely captures the mix of spooky and silly funny. So that's pretty good actually. And then we have Steve Buscemi as Nebercracker. Now he's definitely a standout. He gives the cranky neighbor a good menacing voice. It really works, and I would say that Mr. Nebercracker is the most memorable character by far. The visuals are actually kind of creepy. I mean, the transformation of the house, it works well. We have the windows that become eyes. We have the door that is a mouth. And yeah, that's pretty bold. That's pretty unsettling, especially if you consider this to be somewhat of a kid's movie. I mean, it's effective. And like I said, it definitely gives off some good Halloween vibes. Now, I usually watch these movies as an adult. So I don't try to look at it as, well, this is a kid's movie. I just watch it for me. So I know often when you watch these types of Halloween movies that people complain, well, it is a kid's movie or is it an adult movie? It's too scary for kids. I don't really care. I don't know if it is too scary or not. I don't know. For me, I think it's quite good. For kids, I don't even think it's really that scary. I think they need to grow a pair, but fine. The voice cast, pretty good. Everybody brings some really good energy to the roles, and they don't really get much screen time, but they do a good job. And like I said, the visuals are creepy, and there are some genuine eerie moments, especially when the house actually starts hunting the kids. It has some really good tension, and you can actually see some really good creative stuff at work on screen. But that's where the good stuff stops. Now, what do I think doesn't really work with this movie? Well, like I just said, well, the tone, is this movie for kids? Is this movie for adults? We don't really know. It's somewhere in between. But for me, I watch it as an adult. I don't think it's a kids movie per se, and I don't think it is too scary for kids in general. Now, the jokes often feel flat. I mean, we have P humor, P jokes, we have some fat jokes in there, we have some bumbling, mumbling cops. I mean, it's meant to be funny, but for me, I think it just falls flat. And it clashes with the creepy Halloween tone. Now, when you do a joke should land. Now, if we have too many jokes that don't land, then we have a problem with the jokes. Now, one of the characters that I actually did think was hilarious at moments was Chowder, the friend of DJ. He actually has some really good moments in the movie where I was actually chuckling a little bit. So there, I would say some of the jokes do land. In terms of animation, it is an animated movie, and the style of animation, I don't know what it's called. I have no idea how it works, but this style of animation, I don't really like it. It's not Pixar, you know? The animation, it doesn't really work for me. I think it's like some motion capture type of stuff. I'm not sure, but these types of animations always look somewhat stiff, and I feel like they lack in detail and expression and colorfulness. But yeah, sure, it's an animation movie. This type of animation doesn't really work for me. The pace, well, it drags on a little bit. You know, the setup is quite good, but then they do this thing in the movie where they go into the backstory, and the backstory doesn't land. It makes sure that the pace is dragging. It makes it overcomplicated. The explanation is unnecessary, and the movie tries to attempt at some emotional depth. And for me, it really didn't land. I didn't feel anything in terms of emotion. What I did feel was, well, in terms of emotion, I did feel a little bit pissed off because I just want to watch a fun Halloween type of movie, or maybe a little bit of a comedy. And the backstory that they add in, not only does it drag the movie, but it also makes the movie feel a little bit more depressing than it needs to be. So it doesn't put that emotional depth in it. It doesn't really land, and I would say, yeah, it's kind of depressing, really. You know, normally when you do a backstory, it should add some heart to it, but it makes this movie a lot messier than it needs to be. Now, the ending obviously is going to be predictable, but then again, you know, that's for most movies. Who really cares? They blow up the house basically, and then, you know, the backstory becomes more clear. So, yeah, overall, I would say Monster House, it is a watchable movie, definitely. The concept is cool, a house coming alive that can't go wrong with that. We have a lot of Halloween vibe, we have some creepy visuals. The performances are pretty fun, here and there, of course, but the uneven tone and the animation, it feels off. And then the lack of focus, where it goes from being a Halloween movie to something that's trying to do more than it needs to. You know, they're trying to do this really emotional, deep type of stuff. Really took me out of the movie. So my final verdict, I would give this like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Creepy premise, execution very clumsy. But then again, you know, what do I know? I just watch movies. I don't really know what is going on half of the time. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.